I've got a couple of questions that I might try to address because we're short of time. We're almost running out. I think one of the things, I think this one is, what is the role of the government in our efforts? How can we meaningfully engage the stage? Look, one of the reasons I wanted this panel and not a politician was because I wanted people who are just doing it and taking it in their own hands. So I think there is a role for government and policy. Maybe lightly, Daman, do you want to touch on that as someone with a background in that, or you don't have to?
I think Simranpreet, I'm going to pass this on to Simranpreet. He's actually worked on all of these issues. He's
Awesome.
done some incredible work. So I'm going to pass this question on to Simranpreet.
Yeah, sure. I think, I don't think it's even a choice in current times, whether to engage or not to engage. I think if anyone who is interested in impact at scale, right, the fastest way, the most systemic way, sustainable way is probably through the government. Is it easy? Of course not. Do many people have that competency? I think more and more people are learning how to engage with the government. And I think as more and more people engage in this work, we have like a tribe of people who understand systems change, who understand how to really, the government officials can, push forth certain agenda. So I think to this question, what's the role? I think the government has a huge role in scaling up interventions who have succeeded probably in certain pockets. And then you create case studies and examples out of it, and then find a way to, how can system adopt it. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And it is an important thing. There is a role for government. I've been reading a book by Jacqueline Novogratz, which is phenomenal. I think it's got a Moral Revolution. I forget the exact name. And it just came out, and she talks a lot about, yes, to have impact at scale, you need government. But to start, you do not. To start, you can start with one person, right? So she talks about ambulance company in Mumbai that they funded, and everybody laughed at them. They said, oh, you've only got 5-10 ambulances. It's never going to go anywhere. The Silicon Valley investor said to have real scale, you need thousands of ambulances. But they invest something called patient capital. And I want to just bring this up, is they invest money from philanthropists, so charity, as well as investors who give money, and they have more flexibility when it's returned, right? So it's we can give back to us in 10 years, right? Or 20 years, just we want to invest. And they invested in this sort of ambulance company, which I don't remember the name. And, a lot of people laughed at them and said nothing was going to happen. To have real change in the healthcare, you need government and this and that. And it was because there was issues with ambulances arriving in India and stuff like that. And when the Mumbai, I think the bombings happened, the tragic bombings, explosions and stuff, on the television, it was their ambulance that was there. They arrived to the scene. They were the first one. It was their small. So I think it's a power of small things as well. And now they've grown to a huge fleet, but it starts somewhere. So I think, yes, there's a role of government, but we don't want to have as much of a philosophical debate today as much as we want to see what's actually happening and how we elevate that and how we build relationships and connect. I think once we're at a platform, we can, Simranpreet has a great experience to talk about how to work with government. So I encourage you to connect with all of our panelists out of this. I'm conscious we're running out of time, so we haven't got through all of our questions. I guess what I want to finish on, I think we've answered a lot of them as well. I just do want to touch on one thing. This is an anonymous question, but I think it's important. They said, how do we make sure that there are enough cool aspirational opportunities in Punjab for youth and that they are decentralized? And why do we think young people are migrating? How do we see Punjab in the coming few years as its demographic dividend is being robbed off? What can be done to expand Punjab's image from only agriculture to social impact, service and tourism? I might give these an attempt. The cool aspirational opportunities, that's what I'm trying to do with Bold Punjab. So hopefully it's useful, but giving a platform to you guys to connect. So I think if anyone attending here is from Australia, if you can find other really cool folks, there's people on this panel or others whose work you want to elevate, I encourage you to be a follower. I encourage you to share their work on your LinkedIn, to share their work on your websites. It's small, but there will be a network effect, right? Other people will become more interested. So that's one. The second part of your question is why they're migrating. I'll give that a go quickly. I think from my parents' experience, who migrated in 91, before I was born. And there's a few things, but I think right now it's changed. But what's changed now is really people migrate abroad with the idea to get a PR because it's embedded in their psyche from a very young age. Music, culture. When I went there early this year, I saw 11 years old children learning IELTS, English language test company, owned by a British company, an English company, Australian company as well, co-owned. And I was thinking, what message does this send when we tell our 11-year-old children that they need to learn IELTS? It says to go anywhere, you need to get out of here. So start learning now. So I think there is a big cultural shift we have to make. And part of that cultural shift is we start elevating the stories of success that remain, and we become allies as the diaspora in supporting you guys.